Morning, everybody. Welcome to the County Commission meeting for Monday, March 25th, 2013. It is fixing to be 9 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. First thing, if everybody would please put their communication devices on vibrate and do that as a reminder so we all do the same thing. This morning, we're going to start out with Economic Development Committee. We'll turn it over to Commissioner Salter. I first asked if there's any additions today to the agenda. I'll start with Commissioner Williamson.
No changes, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Salter.
Mr. Chairman, on the Economic Development Committee report, first one on the agenda, Project Breeze Progress Report Update. We're going to pull that until a later date. And then number 4, Military Activities Update. That'll be for Thursday.
Okay. Commissioner Melvin.
No change, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Lynch.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to add just a quick discussion of a bill moving through the legislature. It's the House Select Committee on Claims bill related to sovereign immunity.
All right, we'll add that as the Administrative Committee as item number 6. All right, anything else from staff? Okay, all right, Commissioner Salter, Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 items. Discussion of soliciting proposals for sale of 10-acre parcel in Santa Rosa Industrial Park for a manufacturing facility with 50 employees. There's a brief backup documentation. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I would request moving this to Thursday's agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes till Thursday.
Number 3, discussion of appointment of Valra Young of NAS Pensacola as Veterans Representative on Workforce Escarosa, Inc. Board of Directors. There's a brief documentation about Ms. Young in your book. And if there aren't any questions or concerns, I would move approval to Thursday's agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Salter. We'll move now to Administrative Committee, and we have 6 items. First is discussion of Cornell Drive, Georgetown Court Paving, Water, and Sewer MSBU project. The backup's in your documentation. Have any questions or comments from the board? Mr. Walker?
Mr. Chairman, is just to note that we have received the bids on this MSBU, and we're going to need to. You see the difference between currently the assessed price is $1,077. To go to the next price would be $1,400. To the bid would be $1,400. So the policy in the past for the board has been to re-petition the property owners to see that if they're in support of this. We've talked to the people that have been involved in this particular MSBU, and if you remember, this MSBU's had has a history, but I don't know. I mean, $1,400 is going to be awful steep for the property owners to approve. But that would be the next thing to do. Would be for us to solicit their input. We certainly couldn't.
All right. Any other questions, comments, Commissioner Lynch?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe one of the property owners, who owns a significant number of lots in that subdivision, he's out of town. He will be here on Thursday, I believe, so I'd like to move this to Thursday just so we could get his input before we take any action.
All right. Do so without objection?
Without objection.
All right. Hearing none, it passes till Thursday. All right. Item 2 is discussion of revision allowing Pensacola Beach residents to access to library card at no cost. I understand here from the letter that Gwen Wilson attended the Friends of the Gulf Breeze Library, and we have her letter in our backup. I don't have any problem with this, but I do have a little bit of problem with the non-reciprocation of this program, especially in Gwen's letter. I just wanted to clarify a few items with everybody. Do we know what the charge is for the out-of-state folks to use this Pensacola or Escambia libraries?
I believe it's $50,
It is
same as ours, $50 a year.
And then the comments, and I may have taken this wrong from Gwen's letter, but it evidently, when asked about the possibility of a reciprocal borrowing agreement, I was told that I would have hope in the future, but I don't think it will happen soon. And they seemed to be okay with that response and discussed the fact that Pensacola Beach residents dine and shop in Gulf Breeze, thus spending money in Santa Rosa County. Well, I'm assuming this was a comment from somebody in Escambia that has not decided yet whether or not this deal will be reciprocal. And if it is, I'd like to remind those folks that the boat sails both ways. We spend money in Escambia County too, and when we're from Santa Rosa County. And I'd like to know if this board feels like they support the idea, let's just send a letter to, I mean, looks to me like we're relying on library personnel to work out this reciprocal deal. And I'd be glad to send a letter to Chairman Valentino asking that the Escambia Board of Commissioners take a look at this and make a decision on it, because I really don't care for the attitude that, you know, it's not going to happen. I don't think it will happen soon. If we're going to do it, let's get this thing over with and get a reciprocal deal going with Escambia and our folks. And I don't see what the big deal or the problem is. So just my point of view on this thing.
I just think that was Ms. Wilson's assessment. I don't believe we would expect the library people to work out if the board's interest is in the reciprocal agreement. I mean, that would be obviously between the two boards of commissioners. And to remind the board, we have sent that letter in the past and made that request, and
Okay.
it was
Well,
turned
could we
down.
maybe by Thursday have some follow-up on it so we know? I don't have a bit of problem with them. You know, we're tied at the hip. We're trying to start doing everything on a more regional basis, economic development, arts and culture and everything. I don't have a problem with the shared library usage, but I don't think they ought to drag their feet on our side of it. So. Commissioner Lynch?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would suggest that we go, since the Friends of the Gulf Breeze Library have recommended this on Thursday, I would like to see us go ahead and approve the reciprocal policy for Gulf Breeze, and then I would support a letter coming out under your signature on behalf of the board to Chairman Valentino asking Escambia County to participate as well on a county-wide basis.
Sure. Okay. All right, then we'll move back to Thursday without objection. Hearing none, it passes. Item 3 is discussion of scheduling conflict of Florida Association of Counties annual meeting with the June 27, 2013 regular board meeting. Does my fellow commissioners know who's not going to attend and who's not going to attend? Okay, I don't intend to attend this year, so we could strike that item. We'll just continue to have our June 27th meeting, and Commissioner Melvin will keep you posted.
Yes, sir. I'm on several of those breakout committees with it.
And I may attend. We will likely have a consortium meeting in conjunction with the FAC meeting, and depending on what happens with the BP litigation that's currently ongoing, it could be an important meeting. So I will likely be there.
Without objection we could still have a quorum. If the two commissioners that may attend don't object, would like to continue that meeting on the same date. Hearing no objection, we will have our June 27th meeting, 2013, at regular scheduled time.
And just remember that since that's the fourth Thursday, I suspect that'll also include a rezoning meeting that night. I'm sure y'all will be bitterly disappointed to miss a rezoning meeting.
I could tell their tears are already rolling. So.
But anyway, and I don't believe we need this on the agendas. I think you're right, Commissioner. We'll just go ahead and we've got our plan, so we would put it on the agenda to cancel the meeting. So we'll move forward.
All right. Item number 4 is discussion of use of Navarre Nature Walk Park by Greater Navarre Beach Arts Association Incorporated for annual Fall Festival, September 27th to 29th, 2013. These are regularly scheduled events that we look at every year, and if there's no objections, we'll move that to Thursday. Hearing none, it passes. Item 5 is notice of public hearing. Public hearing item scheduled for 9:30 a.m. Thursday, March 28, 2013. An ordinance amending ordinance 2007-16, Section 5, permitting procedures for construction and demolition or land clearing debris, solid waste disposal facilities, providing for additional disclosure of financial responsibility for closure procedures. I would assume that Ms. Jones will be able to explain all that to us at that public hearing.
I'll do my best.
Okay. All right. All right, any comments, concerns? Okay, we'll move that to without objection. Hearing none, it passes. Item number 6 was an add-on, and we'll take that add-on at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just wanted to make sure that the board was aware of the bill moving through the legislature related to sovereign immunity. In the past, historically, Florida imposed a sovereign immunity cap of $100,000 per person, $200,000 per incident on claims against local governments, cities, and counties. That was raised 2 years ago. It was doubled, actually, so the per person limit went to $200,000 with a $300,000 limit per claim against counties and cities. There's now a bill in the legislature that would raise the caps on damages paid by local governments to $1 million per person and $1.5 million per incident. So it would be a 5-fold increase in the liability that the county would have for simple negligence in an auto accident, slip and fall, things of that nature. Interestingly, the bill does not apply to any claims against the state or state agencies. But one thing to bear in mind, this increases our exposure and hence the exposure of our insurer 500% over what it is currently. So we can expect, if this passes, we can probably expect a significant increase in our annual insurance premium. So if, I don't know for what good it might do, the board may want to adopt a position, send a letter to our local delegation suggesting that we're opposed to this because of the fact that our budget is already lean, and this is going to be potentially significant additional expense for the county and the cities as well.
Do we know who drafted it, the bill, the House and the Senate side of the bill?
It came out of the House. There's no Senate companion, but one's in the works and should be filed within the next week or so.
Okay. I support drafting a letter, absolutely.
I would suggest the plaintiff's bar probably had a pretty significant hand in getting it submitted.
Mr. Chairman, if my memory serves me right, it came out of the central part of the state.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Sullivan.
when I read this the other day, I thought, have they totally lost their mind? I mean, what's the motivation behind it? And then like Commissioner Lynchard said, they excused themselves from it. So I thought we were all supposed to be working together to keep government down and taxes down, and this bill certainly will put a lot of pressure, like Commissioner Lynchard said, on our budget. So it just didn't make any sense at all.
Commissioner Lynchard, is the state already higher, or is it the state at these rates currently?
They're the same right now.
Okay. Just thought I'd cover that.
State rates would not be affected, just
Yeah. Must be nice. Okay, well, I think staff feels our pain here, and if they'll get that letter ready, we'll go ahead and move it to Thursday's agenda, and we'll get her signed and get it on its way. It couldn't be a better time. It's something we could take up at the FAC next week. So one of the things we'll hammer home. Has FAC said anything about it also?
FAC and the Small County Coalition are both have adopted positions against this.
Okay, good. All right, we'll just run that up the flagpole then. So, all right, hearing no objections to that, we'll get that ready for Thursday and get it moved forward. Okay, item number 1 on engineer report, Mr. Blaylock.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Item number 1 is we're recommending the approval of the construction plans for Pace Mill Creek Phase 2. This is a 27-lot subdivision in Working District 1, and it's located 2.5 miles north on Chumuckla Highway from Highway 90, and then northeast on Education and southeast on Pace Mill Way. You have previously reviewed and approved the preliminary plat for this in a previous meeting.
All right. Any questions from fellow commissioners? If not, we'll move this to Thursday without objection. Hearing none, it passes. Okay, we'll move now to Public Service Committee. Commissioner Lynchard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 3 items. Item number 1 is discussion of abatement bid process for the following properties: 6496 Gainell Avenue in Milton, 5186 Green Springs Drive in Milton, 8956 Highway 87 South in Milton, 8986 Highway 87 South in Milton, 9014 Highway 87 South in Milton, 5437 Pecos Pass in Gulf Breeze, 5441 Pecos Pass Gulf Breeze, 8730 Ray Helms Road in Milton, 4466 Tamarind Drive in Pace, and 8302 Verano Street in Navarre. There's backup in your agenda packet. Any questions about this discussion? If not, I would move these to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item 2 is discussion of resolution supporting 2013-2015 3-year local housing assistance plan and authorization for the chairman to sign all related documents. Again, there's backup in your materials. Unless there are any questions, I'll move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And item 3 is discussion of the interlocal operating agreement with the Department of the Navy and Santa Rosa County Emergency Management Communications, establishing protocols for managing emergency calls, 911 calls for NAS Whiting Field. There's backup in your agenda packet. Mr. Gomillion, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, sir. I believe it's pretty straightforward. It'd just be, I believe they are having some changes, moving their direct dispatch to a regional and out of Jacksonville, and just needed to codify some things that were understood, but to make them more in an agreement format.
Okay. Then I will move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes public services.
Thank you, Commissioner Lynchard. We'll move now to Public Works. Commissioner Williamson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 6 items today. The first item is discussion of request from the Parker Landing Homeowners Association for a no parking zone on Whispering Pines Boulevard for approximately 75 feet north and south of Leeward Way. Any questions or discussion? If not, I recommend we move this to Thursday agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item 2 is discussion of request from the Grand Point Homeowners Association for 4 multi-way stop intersections on Mary Kate Drive and Kelton Boulevard as traffic calming measures. Questions or discussion? If not, I recommend we move this to Thursday agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item 3 is discussion of milling and resurfacing Henry Street at an estimated cost of $140,000 and Forsyth Street at an estimated cost of $150,000 to be funded from franchise fees for road and drainage. I recommend we move this to Thursday agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item 4 is discussion of proposal from Lowry Industrial Coatings Incorporated in the amount of $26,800 for painting the exterior of the administrative building based on comparison shopping. I recommend we move this to Thursday agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item 5 is discussion of purchasing of 24 50-foot-long steel pilings for bridge construction from Sable Steel Service, at an estimated cost of $41,700 based on comparison shopping. And I recommend we move this to Thursday agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And the last item is discussion of acceptance of a right-of-way easement from Grover Robertson IV as trustee of the Alice Amelia Hall Trust Fund for the purpose of eliminating limited visibility of the intersection of 12 Oaks Drive and Westminster Field Road. And this is something that's been needed, and I'd like to say thank you to Commissioner Robertson for working with us on this much-needed easement. And I recommend we move this to Thursday's agenda without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll now go to Budget and Finance. Commissioner Melvin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have a dozen items to deal with this morning. Item number 1 is discussion of the bids received for the abatement project located at 2202 Jeannie Street in Navarre, low bidder meeting specifications as Sessions Incorporated with a bid of $2,250. And I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, passes.
Item number 2 is discussion of bids received for the abatement project located at 2204 Jenny Street in Navarre. Low bidder meeting specifications is Sessions Incorporated with a bid of $2,250. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 3 is discussion of bids received for the abatement project located at 5237 Lassiter Road in Pace. Low bidder meeting specifications is Sessions Incorporated with a bid of $3,250. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 4 is discussion of bids received for the abatement project located at 4566 Rambling Way in Pace. Low bidder meeting specifications is Sessions Incorporated with a bid of $2,850. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 5 is discussion of budget amendment 2013-105 in the amount of $304,440, which would carry forward funds to cover the expense of a new phone system for the sheriff in the general fund. And I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 6 is discussion of budget amendment 2013-106 in the amount of $40,000, which will carry forward funds to cover the increase in our property and general liability coverage in the general fund. And I recommend we move that to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 7 is discussion of budget amendment 2013-107 in the amount of $5,600, which will recognize donations from the Baghdad Waterfront Florida Partnership Incorporated and the Blackwater Pirates Organization, and authorize those funds for expenditure in the improvement to the Baghdad Millsite Park in District 2 project funds. Recommend we move that to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 8 is discussion of budget amendment 2013-108 in the amount of $1,230,000, which will fund the construction of the Santa Rosa County Agriplex in East Milton Park from the Reserve for Contingencies in District 2 Projects Fund as approved at the January 22nd, 2013 board meeting. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 9 is discussion of budget amendment 2013-109 in the amount of $34,877, which will carry forward funds for the payment to the City of Milton for the Canal Street improvements in the same amount, $34,877, in the Road and Bridge Fund as approved at the January the 12th, 2012 board meeting. That may be a typo on the, is that 2012?
No, sir, it's 2012. These
Okay.
funds just weren't spent.
Okay, I stand corrected. All right, that is from the January 12th, 2012 board meeting. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 10 is discussion of the budget amendment 2013-110 in the amount of $68,000 to carry forward prior year accumulation of crime prevention reserves to pay authorized expenditures in the fine and forfeiture fund. I recommend we move this to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 11 is discussion of the budget amendment 2013-111 in the amount of $25,000 to the town of Jay for the recreation program. These will be coming from the District 3 Recreation Fund as approved at the March the 14th, 2013 board meeting. I recommend approval without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
Item number 12 is discussion of the county expenditures and check register. I've begun to review that register, and I'll have it on your desk by Thursday morning. I recommend we move item number 12 to Thursday without objection.
Hearing none, it passes.
And that concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner. Have any other comments from board members, staff, clerk of courts, anybody? All right. If not, then open it public forum. Seeing none, we are adjourned. Okay, sorry. Getting slow, getting slow.